Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
So having a party, having a celebration, always a great time. You have friends, you have family. It's great to connect with people and the food and the memories. Planning those events, maybe not so much fun. And that's why we have somebody like Alice Victoria Mbuyi joining us. And she's with passioneventsdesign.com. And Alice, it's great to have you back with us. How's everything going?
Thank you, Steve. Everything is going well, and I hope you're doing great today.
Doing very well. Yeah. And it's great to have you back. You always have great ideas, insight, creativity, and of course, the passion to help people with their events and parties. So I'm thinking since we are, a month and a half away from graduation, why don't we talk about graduation parties and some of the things that people can do with those?
Sure, yes. So we are in the graduation season, and it's interesting because even graduation events needs to be scheduled ahead of time and planned so that you can have a great event. So for those who are in the last semester, of course, the first thing they can do is to find a location. It can be anywhere from your backyard. It can be like a small venue space or a regular venue space. It can be at the park of recreation. You just have to call the city from where you are and to make a reservations. At park recreations is cheaper if you're looking a way to save for your graduation party. Because I know they charge little than $25-$35 an hour, and some will do like flat fee of 150 for the day. So that is great. So once you do that, you have your date picked, and please choose your date because there's tons of graduations that will happen, and you just don't want to schedule your party far from your graduation ceremony. So you can do that. And you can finalize your guest list, especially if it's in a venue you want to finalize so that you can get the right size venue for your party. So all of that is essential in the planning process.
I appreciate that advice. And yes, definitely start planning now because to your point, Alice, you don't want to have the party far away from the graduation because you didn't pick the date well in advance. So now would be the time at least to get on that. And another thought that popped in my head, there are some fire departments that offer their party rooms for events, and many fire departments have really, really nice event rooms. You would be blown away at some of the fire departments. They put money into it. So some of those rooms are really nice. And a lot of times they offer them out to the community just to make some more revenue within the fire department. So just another thought. I have some friends that are involved in the fire service and have used that over the years. So just another place where you can have your party.
Yes, and it's great because in my city, I do some small events, in the fire department, social halls, and they are great to use. And they allow one host for the day, so that's where you really need to book ahead of time. And the great thing is, if they give it to you for the day, you can come set up in the morning and just enjoy the space the entire day if you would like.
And you know what? Another thought just popped in my head. Their kitchens are like many of them are like gourmet kitchens. So you can,
Yes, I agree.
You hire a chef, and every department is different. Every city municipality is different, but some of them are really nice. So just throwing it out there. What about some of the themes for graduation parties? What have you done? What are you seeing? What's popular right now?
What's been popular right now, just a few of them. For the young ladies, is Smart Cookie, where they will have just like desserts theme, like cookies So, a smart cookie is just, a smart young lady. So that theme it has been going on, and also
Hmm.
candy graduation, where they have cotton candy and a lot of goods, dessert goods.
Hmm.
So that's another theme, and of course, the most popular ones is college sport
Yeah.
team theme, where they will take their favorite team, and they will just make it like a sport event. So that's nice.
Wow.
And what was very very popular for the past 2 years also was the backyard, backyard party, where people were having the events in the backyard. So even we almost back to normal, there's still a request for backyard party.
Yeah, well, I think it's because COVID started that, but then it became cool. You know,
Yes, it
before
became
COVID, it
cool.
was like, I don't want to do a party in the backyard, Mom. We're not doing that. Now it's like, yeah, why don't we have one in the backyard? We have a backyard, we have space. We could just bring in somebody to plan the party, cater the party, and put the whole thing together. So yeah, one plus for COVID there. I know somebody did a graduation party a few years ago, and the theme was, I guess the best description, Hollywood. And what they did was they had people with cameras in front of the venue. And then when people pulled up, it almost looked like the paparazzi was taking pictures of everybody. And it had, like, a red carpet. And it just had that theme of just like the Oscar night.
Right.
Just another thought, a little more work on that one. But, if you
Yeah.
have the budget and you want to do something totally different. Crazy
Yes.
question. This just popped in my head, Alice. When you mentioned the smart cookie party, gourmet cupcakes. I remember, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago, they were very popular. Are they still?
Still.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, that's another one. Still very popular.
Interesting.
So there was two requests for that, and I'm sure there'll be
Hmm.
more
I,
to do that team.
I think why people love them so much, aside from them tasting delicious, is you can have a small cupcake and have more than one, so you can sample different flavors, right? Instead of, a slice of cake, you're done. You've already done your thing. um
Yes.
it's funny how things remain popular, but then we talked about within weddings, the um chocolate fondue used to be a big thing like 15 years ago, and
Right.
according to what you told me, not really so much anymore. I'm sure COVID had a
Yeah.
lot to a lot to do that with that,
Yes.
but yeah. um what about weddings? Why don't we talk about weddings for a sec? um
Sure.
Somebody to officiate the wedding. If you're planning the party, you would get the officiant and you would take care of all of that.
Yes. So, as a planner, we have a list of officiants that you can choose from.
Hmm.
And if you have your own officiant, that is great. So the officiant, sometimes some of them will offer pre-counseling for marriage. Some will just come for the day. But I really encourage all the brides and grooms, if all the future brides and future grooms, to take advantage of the counseling, because marriage is a partnership, and it's important for both couples to know what can go in a marriage, so that it can prepare you ahead of time. So pre-marriage counseling has become something now, because seeing the rate of divorce going so high, so so people are looking to get some counseling, so that they don't commit some of the mistake that others made,
Mm.
and just to have like a happy marriage.
Yep, totally understood. And um, especially after COVID, a lot of divorces took place or are taking place. With the pre-marriage counseling, Alice, how many sessions are usually required, or how many do couples typically go to? Do you know?
There's not really not a fixed requirement of sessions. Some people like to have pre-counseling for like 6 months before the event.
Hmm.
Some just 3 sections. Yeah,
Mhm.
so it all depends, but I would say if you're being offered like 6 month pre-counseling,
Oh,
take advantage of that. And for that, 1 hour a session, maybe it can be once a month. Yes, if you can find an hour once a month for that,
sure.
I would say go for it. Go for it because there's advantages when it comes to the for the counseling because during that counseling you will learn about open communication that you will carry on in your marriage, and then you will discuss the goals and for the to that benefit both of you.
Mm.
Things like that, questions like that will be open to both couples. Like couples, there's one doesn't want children, the other one wants children. So we need to make things clear before you can both move forward. So things like that, and all that is to prepare the couple to have a healthy marriage.
Yep, I totally agree with you. And it's a shame that that wasn't offered or suggested long ago. This is kind of a newer thing where it's kind of trendy, where that counseling is available and couples take advantage. And for couples that say, we're good, we don't need to do that. Well, do it because you love each other and you want to make your relationship that much better and opening up
Right.
the communication. And many times it's minimal cost or if not free sometimes for that counseling. We're getting instant feedback. You can reach us instantfeedbacksteve@gmail.com. Shelly checks in from Raleigh, North Carolina. And she says, my mom is going to retire very soon, and we want to have a retirement party for her. Can you offer any suggestions? I'm looking for themes, ideas, anything you can offer.
Oh wow, that's great. I'm I'm happy for her for all the hard work.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that is definitely worth a celebration. That's like an achievement and service to the country, to whatever department she was working.
sure.
Yes, yeah. So there's there's a saying that always pops. He said, "Celebrate each other while we are alive." So I really like that. So for the theme, you can pick like I know somebody had a Wonderland theme and like Chanel theme. So those are some of the theme that you can pick, and also depending on what she likes. Like we did a 70th birthday party last year, and this woman loves makeup. She loves makeup. Likes to look beautiful. So that was a theme. So we did the cake. The baker did a cake design with some lipstick and makeup. So yeah, just find out with her what she likes, and from there you can pick the best selection.
I love that idea, and it's funny you brought a thought to my head. This is how it works, Alice. You're creative, and then you'll say something, and then I think of something. I know somebody that works for a high end cosmetic line in a department store. She's been working there for years, and they have so many samples available. Sometimes to the point where they need to get rid of them. So you could, yeah, I mean, to your point, when you're talking about the woman that likes makeup and beauty, you could probably either get it for no charge, and you're doing them a favor, or a very reduced charge to get samples, and then put that into maybe like a beauty bag or something like that as a favor, along with everything else. Just a quick thought, only because I had this conversation with her just the other day.
Oh, right.
I know that
Yeah,
stuff's available. It's you never know until you ask, right?
right. Right. Yes. So it's important to know what she likes, because you can go with the new trends and it might not appear much to her. So if she loves music, you can do something with a musical theme. You can, if she loves beautiful gowns, you can just have like a ballroom theme. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and congratulations to your mom, Shelly. When it comes to music and entertainment, I know we've talked about that before, but there is so much out there. Let's say hypothetically here, Shelly's mom is big into um, the standards when it comes to music, or like Sinatra. There's people out there that sound just like Frank Sinatra. In fact,
Right.
years ago, I had a party, and there was somebody there that loves Frank Sinatra. Plus, it's timeless; it never gets old. And I had this guy named Gene Santini. Just remembered his name, and he was there, and just amazing job. Like the DJ was great, everything was great, but people were focused on this one guy singing. And I don't know, maybe he did like 5 songs, but it was, and the funniest part was another memory. He would go up to some of the older women and just like kind of work his magic as he sings to them. And it was that the pictures were great. Everybody was smiling. So I guess, yeah, when it comes to the entertainment, think deep about that. There's a lot of people out there that do a lot of different things. And, to your point, Alice,
Right.
what is somebody's passion? What kind of music are they into? You'll probably find it out there.
Right, right. And that reminds me of an event where the lady, you know, who they were hosting the party for, she used to love Marilyn Monroe.
Mm.
So they had someone dressed like her, and they did a very good job with the makeup, and then she was also a singer. So
Oh, wow.
it was, and then she almost believed, she was like, if I didn't have an idea that she had passed away, I would think it was her, because the makeup artist did a phenomenal job. So that's another way to really entertain a crowd.
Yeah. And now you bring back a memory. If somebody is into that and it's a birthday, Marilyn Monroe, famous for singing "Happy Birthday," I do believe, to John F. Kennedy. Could you imagine her singing "Happy Birthday"? Just recreating that moment from the early 1960s. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
But you know what? You can Google and you can search, but that's why you call on a professional like you, Alice, because you're plugged into that. And I think that if somebody throws you an idea, you're going to take it and run with it. Oh, wait, we could do this. Oh, wait, we could do that. There's so many, it's endless. It's almost endless what you can do in planning a party.
Right.
So how about weddings? I know we are in wedding season and we talked about them quite often. What do you got coming up? Anything that tell me? I'd like to get into the world of Alice and passioneeventsdesign.com. What's going on? Like what are you thinking right now? What are you planning for somebody right now?
Oh, right now we have two big weddings that are coming up, and there is one in June and another one in July. So I'm dealing with two brides that are uncertain of what they want, and the date is coming closer and closer. So we continue to work closely with the two brides, and so one is doing the vintage theme, and we are
Oh,
trying to put vintage slash a little bit of luxury. So we are trying to put things in place, and then the other one is having just like a lux event in the ballroom, and those are big events. So we're talking about 300 guests.
wow.
So there's a lot to do, and so I just make sure that the future brides do their parts, where to assume some of the little responsibilities, and then we're able to meet weekly. So those are the two
Oh,
big ones that are coming. Other than that, we have some later in the year, and at the same time we have graduation events coming up.
sure.
So yeah, so we are very busy, and we are thankful for that.
Let's go back to that vintage wedding that you're planning. The one with a little, deluxe added to it. What are you working on in terms of the vintage part? I'm intrigued about that. Is it the style of the way the venue is going to be set up? Is it people are going to be dressing vintage? Do we have vintage cars going on here? What's going on?
Okay, for this one, people will dress like regular attire, like like regular attire. When it comes to the vintage style, it would be more like finding like a vintage car, where we would do some floral design for them to also write in and take pictures. And the ceremony will be outdoor, so we have to put some of the pieces with the boho. We have to make it a little boho, and so it's mainly like in a decor, in the design and
Mm.
the table setup. So it's pretty interesting because we are doing a mixture of luxury items and some of the floral design. Then we will put, boho style. So we'll see how it comes up.
Yeah, very exciting. And I think you have your finger on the pulse of what's the trend right now, because I've been invited already since in the last, I'd say 8 weeks, two separate events, call them parties, just what you're talking about. One was a Roaring Twenties party. The other was the Great Gatsby, right around the same era. And you needed to dress up like that. And the entire restaurant venue, whatever, was set up exactly like that. Um, Went to one of them, didn't make it to the other one. I'm sure there's going to be more, but yeah, super fun. Just like it's like you transform yourself into somebody else from
Right.
that time frame. And it was a very very lush time too, so I can understand, that what you're saying, take the vintage and then amp it up a little bit with some gold motif and things like that, right?
Right, right, right. And when it comes to like dressing, like dressing as the host wants people to dress, I had to be a coordinator
Mm.
in one of the wedding events, and I had to dress like them.
Ooh.
The only thing is, I had my tag because I was the coordinator, and some people who didn't know, like a family member who didn't know who I was, they reach out to the bride after the wedding and say, "Oh, there is this friend lady that you really need to thank because she did work a lot throughout the event. You really need to thank her." And then
That's great.
the bride said, "Oh yes, that was my coordinator." You're like,
That's
"What?" She
fantastic.
was like us. So I
Yeah.
like to do that. I like to look like everyone else, not just.
Yeah. I love that. Well, you know what? That's a big plus for you. It's like almost as if you were riding under the radar. You were blending in with everybody else, and then they're thinking, that's one of your really good friends. She's there every time you need her. Look at her. Every time she's not even partying so much because she's helping you out. And they didn't, but you know what? What it comes down to is I'm sure that you become their friends. You're a friend of the couple because you know so much about them. You're planning a once in a lifetime day, an event. You probably know more about them, honestly, than a lot of their friends do because you spend so much time and
Right,
right?
right, and I'm still friends with them, and I'll be planning the kids'
Right.
first birthday party.
That's fantastic. Yeah. It's got to make you feel, Alice, really, really good. I don't want to say at the end of the day because it's a cliche, but it's at the end of the day after the event and everything is done
Right,
when you look back and you say, that's what I did. I put that whole thing together and they're smiling, they're happy, and it went fantastic. It's gotta feel great.
right. Yes, it's great. It's great because it's great to give, and it's a great feeling.
Yeah. All right. Tell everybody if they want to reach out to you, if they're planning an event anywhere in your area, which is in the Maryland area. What part of Maryland?
Okay, so we are in Frederick, Maryland, and just 50 minutes from Washington, D.C., and we're in the middle of Baltimore, also in the middle of Virginia. And if you want to reach us, you can go to our website, passioneventsdesign.com, and there is a contact page where you can input your information, and we'll be happy to reach back to you. If you are planning a wedding, an event, we can come to other places as well. We go to New York, we go to other surrounding places. If you want us to go as far as Georgia, I'll be in Georgia in the month of August. So we can go where you are.
Wow.
We'll be happy to service you.
Yep. And I'm sure you're happy to answer any kind of questions if somebody's wondering about an event, they want to they want to bounce something off you and potentially have you guys work their event, depending on where they are. It's always great. I love talking with you. I love the creativity. I feel like we come up with ideas as we go along here, but it's also based on your
Yes,
experience and your passion too.
yes, yes, I love that, Steve. Thank you.
Thank you, Alice. Go there, passioneventsdesign.com, and start planning a great event. You know what? Life is short, so make it
Right.
count and make it special. And look forward to catching up again sometime soon, Alice.
All right. Thank you, Steve, and I'll see you next time.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you, and we'll be right back.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you can now listen live on the MyTuner Radio and online Radio Box apps for iOS, Android, and the Amazon App Store. Or check us out online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on onlineradiobox.com/US so you don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.